Houston Ballet wraps up its performance of Sylvia this weekend, and I get to chat with Harper Watters, the first soloist who plays the lead on Sunday night.
Yes, it's a really exciting time in my career for me as a dancer. I've been with the Houston Ballet now I'm in my 11th season, and I've been fortunate enough to do principal roles in one-act ballets, and I've been the Prince and the Nutcracker, but this will be my first go at a principal role in a three-act ballet, story ballet. I'm very nervous, but I'm also very, very excited and honored to be given the responsibility of leading a ballet of this size, and I'm just very excited.
It's been so exciting to watch your growth within the company as well. What was it, last year you became first soloist, and you are the first Black soloist in almost 20 years?
Yeah, so I'm currently the highest ranked Black dancer in the company, which is a feat in itself. But I honestly, I stand on the shoulders of dancers like Lauren Anderson, who is a Houston icon and legend, and a huge role model and inspiration in my career. I call her like my ballet fairy godmother. Whenever I need help or I'm going through something, I go to her office and we chit chat. Seriously, she has paved the way for not only dancers like me in Houston, but Black dancers everywhere. And to be the highest ranked dancer and to be a queer dancer, it means a lot. But, I understand that it's not just those traits that have gotten me where I am right now. And I am so grateful to be in a world-class company that values artistry and technique and hard work and dedication. And I've put in the hours, for this moment. And so to have the traits that I possess, but along with the work that I've put in, I feel very honored to be given this opportunity.
Well, how important do you think it is anywhere, but especially in a city as diverse as Houston, for kids in the audience to be able to look up on stage and see someone who looks like them?
Yes. So I never thought I would be in this position, not because I couldn't do it, just because I never saw it done before. And I really believe that visibility is currency, and it doesn't have to be a monetary one. It's one of representation, and to be a permission slip for the next generation of dancers, or just people in general, to say, I can do that. I can do what makes me happy. I can put in the work of achieving a goal that I might not see possible for myself. That brings me a lot of joy. And that keeps me showing up to class every day and putting in the work, knowing that by advocating for myself in my work, I'm advocating for others. And so to be in a diverse city like Houston, I think it's appropriate for a Black queer dancer to be leading a ballet.
On the topic of visibility, let's talk about your social media, because you have hundreds of thousands of followers, myself included. And one of the series that I really loved that you did was about Black dance history makers and replicating some of their iconic images. What inspired that?
Honestly, the inspiration was those dancers. I pull from the history of who came before me, and I wanted to acknowledge the work and hurdles that they overcame to be where they are, so that I could be where I am. And, I wasn't the biggest fan of writing essays in school. I mean, you can do it. I get it. We have to do that. But I wanted a creative way that spoke to something that I enjoy doing. Social media is something that I enjoy doing. Dancing is something I enjoy doing. And creating other forms of media is something that I enjoy doing. And so paying homage to them through dancing into their images personally was just to fulfill my own, love of those dancers. And the fact that it's resonating with people and being shared and being duplicated. And I think that's so awesome. And social media obviously can have its negative connotations or perceptions, but I hope that this shows that if you can creatively intentionally and thoughtfully create on social media, it can be a really powerful tool. And with this series that I did, I feel like people were like, oh my gosh, I had no idea that these people were dancers. Or what was even more amazing was people were like, oh my God, I love Willie Ninja, or I love Calvin Royal, and it was a way of people seeing those dancers and giving them their flowers. And so I'm so happy that it resonated with people.
Obviously, one of the other very popular parts of your social media are the workouts, the high heels, the treadmills.
Yeah.
I like to think that I can do a lot in heels.
Sure.
You can do much more. What got that going?
Well, honestly, it started a really long time ago. And I had a few friends in the company who one day surprised me with heels in our gym where we work out. And I was like, what are you doing with those? Like, get those out of here. Like, this is not meant to be in here. But one thing led to another, and I put them on, filmed a video on the treadmill, posted it. And at the time, I just, social media wasn't as big of a thing then. And I shut my phone and went on with my life. When I reopened it, the notifications were insane. And I was like, I'm famous, I'm a celebrity. I need to give the people what they want. I need to keep doing it. But in turn, what I sort of realized was I had this powerful self-expression and ownership of self off stage by doing these videos. It was an extension of who I was. It wasn't 100% defining who I was, but this comfortable sense of owning the space in heels and understanding what fabulousness and ferocity that brings. I said, why am I not doing that inside the studio? Why am I not owning who I am within the space of a dance studio? And so I started to merge the two. Did I bring heels into the studio and do the Sugar Plum Prince? No, but I did. I danced around and I was able to bring Harper into the studio. And so I really rely on my social media, and I really rely on these, over the top videos as a tool of making my dancing more Harper. And so they really rely on the two. And so it's fun for me. It's like a superhero cape when I put these, videos together and put the heels on. And it's just, when I own every aspect of who I am, I saw my dancing become better. And so I was going to continue to do that.
I feel like that's such an important message. And, like you said, a lot of times the negative parts of social media are what get attention, but they do it does for a lot of people sort of unlock and show the potential or get the affirmation that it's okay to be you and to celebrate being you. And I think that's a lot of what you've experienced.
Yeah. We have this phrase in ballet, quality over quantity, when it comes to turns, when it comes to the height of the leg, when it comes to, doing things, and understanding that on social media, it's the quality of the work and, audience that you curate over the quantity and the mass numbers. That was a real changing moment for me, and the quality of community that I've built. I'm really appreciative. And so creating content that I like and, supports whatever I believe in, instead trying to create content that pleases others, people, or what is trending. To me, that makes social media a powerful tool of discovery that I like to get behind.
All right, let's circle back to the beginning. Sylvia, Sunday, what can audiences expect?
They can expect a roller coaster ride of a story. It is a 3-act ballet. I like to equate it to a Disney movie. It is filled with drama, love, romance. There's fighting, there's heartbreak, but then there's so many stories intertwined with each other that have a really beautiful ending. And it's just really great dancing. And, it's incredible, especially given the circumstances, of the past 2 years. Like, surprise, we've been through something, really heavy in this past 2 years. And so to put a production of this magnitude together safely at Houston Ballet and of this quality is a real feat. And I really hope that people want to come and experience it and enjoy it, because our company has put a lot of work into it, and it shows on stage. And I'm just so excited to be at the front and to be leading it. And I had my first show last Sunday, and I got to bow last. It's like you're the lead role, and getting the flowers and bowing and turning around and seeing the whole company cheering, and then stepping forward and seeing the audience was a really beautiful moment. And you can't really experience these moments of live art and live storytelling unless you go for it and go to it. And they're really special. And what happens on that stage can never be duplicated. It can never be recreated again. And so these once in a lifetime moments are incredibly special, and Sylvia provides that. And so to be a part of it, I'm just so honored. And I hope people come on Sunday. We have shows the Friday, Saturday, and then I'll be dancing the lead role on Sunday. Houston Ballet also just announced their new 2022-2023 season. That is extremely exciting. And there's some of my favorite ballets on there: Romeo and Juliet, Swan Lake, Peter Pan, but Houston favorites like Clear and Divergence. So come to Sunday and then get your tickets for the next season while you're at the theater.
That's perfect advice. And I'll provide a link where people can get their tickets and look at that 2023 lineup. Is there anything else that you wanted to add?
I just think that, in advocating for the next generation of dancers and artists and creators, just be supportive of people's authentic self and what makes them happy. And I never thought that I would be sitting here at 10:20 talking to a news anchor about my career in ballet and leading a classical ballet. But that came through Houston Ballet and the city of Houston supporting someone like me. And so imagine what if we continue that energy and we can continue that support, and we keep creating art, and what that can mean for the next generation. So I hope that people take a little bit of inspiration from my story and the story that Houston Ballet has created, into their day, onto their week, onto their month, yeah.
It has been wildly inspiring chatting with you, Harper. Thank you so much.
Thank you.